Pro Group Racing. Show us your tips. Daggy with you, flying solo on a Wednesday morning to look at two midweek cards from Moe and Warwick Farm. We've got to look at this afternoon. They're not mostly all inspiring cards of all time, but we'll get into them. Just a quick note, of course, check out progroupracing.com.au for all going on there. Plenty of news, tips up there 3 or 4 times a week, as well as our shows twice a week. All up there free. Thanks for a few kind messages over the weekend. We had all 4 best bets get up, as well as our best bet from Morpheville and Belmont, all lobbing. So good results for those that multied them up. As I said, a couple of nice messages, but we bet on as we head towards CFL Stakes Day and the Millennium on Friday. We're going to stop by Warwick Farm first, where the track is good. The rail moves out 3 metres. So I think you want to probably be not too far from the pace. No, they've avoided most of the rain overnight, so treating it as a dry track. We kick off with maybe the most interesting race on the card, just because it's the babies, the 2-year-olds over 1,300 metres, where I was going to start the day with Tom Kitten. I'm not charging any here. I thought Tom Kitten, off an okay debut up the Flemington Straight, comes here, gets Nash. I assume he's going to just pop straight on the fence there, and hopefully, as I said, that's not a disadvantage. On top to start the day from Mac Tabby, who I thought trialled okay, behind a couple of good ones, finds the pace, and just looking at this now, it's actually been backed overnight out of a Duke's Choice mare, so glad it stayed dry for it. A good friend of the show, John, suggested Maker Calls his best of the day. Got a message from him this morning, but I'm going to start with the blue colours in the first. The second is a maiden, this time for the 3-year-olds, over the 1,200 metres. Really like the return of, or I think the return of Peril is going to go quite successfully, like the trials on return. J-Mac on, it's going to bounce straight to the front, and the form around its stuff last time, chasing the likes of Saturn Star, was good. Should be very, very hard to beat here. Went looking for Warby. Very quiet trial, but some reasonable form there, and does get Aussie Tom on top at his first foray to the midweek races, but I think Peril's going to be very hard to beat. Perhaps no chases here. The 1,400 metre benchmark 68 is up next on the card. We've lost Glint of Silver this morning. I like Moscow Night here. Back to the scene of its nice win last time. Again, J-Mac, who's found a couple of leaders on this card, bounces straight to the front. I think it's going to be very hard to run past. Around the $3 mark looks good to me. I don't quite know where the chases come from. And out to 1,400 metres does suit Atlantic Ocean. Nash going on. Pass mark first up. But this might be a one-act affair here. I think it's going to be very, very hard to beat. Perhaps a good little multi between races 2 and 3. The fourth staying race on the card is 2,200 metre benchmark 72. I like the tick over last week and the return of Flambeur. Month off between running well out to this distance. Returned last week, tick over there at 1,500 metres, unsuitable. Quick backup straight back to town, straight onto gate 1, so hopefully leader's back if J Ford gets it all right. I think it runs well here, around the $7 mark. I think it is nice value from a couple at a price, Foodeye and Mikasa, both going well at lesser grades, but we know, especially in these staying contests, there's not a massive, massive gap. And obviously got to respect Handsome there. But given none on a Saturday last town, can see why it's favourite. Coming back here, good gate, J-Mac, etc., etc. But just playing the price in these staying races, given we know how they can pan out often, especially at midweek level. The fifth is a 1,200 metre benchmark 72, where I'm going to stick with Late Night Tough Guy. Probably should have won last start at Canterbury off a very good win at Gosford. Heavily backed both times it's been to the races, so I suggest there's an opinion of the horse. Does get Nash, so no excuses. I assume it's going to just lob straight onto the pace behind Cotton Fingers and Espirito. I think it's probably time third up for us to have a crack at it. $4.50. Main danger as a market suggests is Cardone, just absolute none last time, taken right back at Rosehill there, and never even got into the race. Hit the line, Brandwick it was, sorry. Hit the line quite well. Back in grade, suits. I think they're the main two. Probably happy to cover the bracket, actually. I'll have a good go at Late Night Tough Guy and cover it on Cardone. Just against Cotton Fingers, had enough of that. So probably the time to jump on. Now I'm off. Race 6, 1100 metre benchmark 72 comes up, and we're all over Diamond Dealer Saturday afternoon. It's been scratched from there to come here. I think it hits this race perfectly. It does have a 3 kilo claimer on top. Jet Stanley, who I don't know a lot about, up from Melbourne, I think he might be. But all things going well, if you can get clear air here, I think it's going to be hard to beat. I was keen on Sunrise Barubi, who's come out as a main chance. So nice bet here, Diamond Dealer. Petulant now, a little bit of sting out of the pace up front there probably suits it, but he's a bit of a goner as well. So sticking with the winning there. And the last is a benchmark 72 over the 1400 metres. Not sure. Not quite sure. Mission Value ran the trip last time. Did have an opinion of it. I think the scratchings help it get a bit of a softer time up there. Last Chance Silent Agenda. It's been ticking through well. Ran well here, couple back without giving much of an opportunity, but did hit the line well. Again at 1400 metres. Jay Collett hopefully can stalk and finish strongly over the top of Mission Value. Not quite sure what to do with Manouche. Scared of it. Just okay first up. Does get Nash. I assume is rolling forward. It's mapped 1-1 on the official maps here. Nice enough trial before that. But, yeah, going to give Silent Agenda one last crack, and then I think it's going in the life bin. My best, race 3, number 4 for progretracing.com.au. Of course, check them out, as I said earlier, for their free tips, extensive guides, and much more. Moscow Night, very hard to beat, up on the pace there. And my value in the staying race, race 4, number 5, Flambeur. We head down to Moe on a Wednesday. It's the first time I've done a preview of Moe on the show. Suggest you probably don't want to be too far from the pace with the Rail True. Good track. A lot of these races full of not many horses is going to be very pace related, so I'm not going to be too critical of anything we see of the track, to be honest. Don't know if we get too excited about anything on the card, to be honest, but we're going to start off with the 2-year-olds over the 1100 metres. And I was giving Elderberry, or we both were giving Elderberry a good chance in the Blue Diamond lead-up at Sandown last time. Too far back, nothing happened there. I suppose I've got to stick with Elderberry. I'm scared of Pantalone, who's trialled well a number of occasions. I assume goes pretty much straight to the lead here for Damien Lane. And I think it's the main danger from Trejawi, who does also go to the lead. They probably control this race. Blake McDougall absolutely flying at the moment. And next best, but going to go 7, 5 and 8 in that order. The second is a 3-year-old maiden, where I am going to spec a first starter here in Figurante. It's found the rails in a couple of trials, powered around quite nicely, including its key rival here, who was taking a lot of ground of it, the favourite Nanita. But at the each-way price with Mickey Dion, probably my favourite jockey in Melbourne at the moment, apart from Blake, I think gets a nice ride and gives you a nice each-way sight. But there are first starters here which do have ability. As I said, Nanita, I think Ossified is a talented horse who's hit the line well as well. And Albanian Wrestler of the Race Brigade wasn't a bad debut. Up in distance does suit there. The 1200 metre maiden comes up next, and we see another debutant for the Mick Price team here in Humming. Did just that, humming around in a couple of trials to date, hit the line beautifully, looks a nice mover. And on top for me, do I want to take $1.70? No. But on top for me, from the resuming Red Duster, I like the fact that Moody Stables decided to go B. Higgins over J. Carr for now on pace there. It's a tick for me, so main danger as well. So 9 from 11 in the third. The fourth, really like the debut of Deal Obtained at the track here. Last time out, I think straight out to a mile suits. Just got over heels, hit the line really nicely, and was just nabbed late there. Inside gate here, hopefully gets the same run. Best of the day for me, Deal Obtained in the fourth. Scared of Fashion Empire, hopefully sitting closer after being tardy out last time out for the Buston Young team. Blake McDougall on obvious tick. And that's about it for me. Yeah, no. Nice type there, Deal Obtained. The fifth, now that these quaddy legs are, well, there's certainly something. 1600 metre benchmark 64 is up next. Desperado does come back from an okay run at Flemington. It did sit pretty close to the pace there. I think it could do the same here. If it does, I think it's the best horse. Probably the one to beat. From Frankie Two Angels, in a race of 0 pace, it is going to bounce forward for Brian Higgins. Hopefully get control, roll along there, and will be the one that they have to get past, as I like to say. The 6th is a mile again. This time benchmark 78 level. And again, lack of pace has me putting the lightly raced Cesuro on top. Daniel Moore take it straight to the front, as it's done both times this prep. It's going to roll along. There'll be no pressure. Jiggy jog, sprint away at the top of the straight, and hopefully get the chockies. I think around the $2.80, $3 mark. Nice bet. I think Rhinoceros is only danger to be stalking it on its back, and has found a bit of form its last 3 or 4 starts. Running quite well at the moment, and this isn't a strong race. It is the main danger here for me. The 7th, benchmark 64, a staying contest out of the 2,000 metres. I like the resumption of Drake Passage, albeit at a week 58 there, but chimed in, raced away, looked strong through the line. So I'm going to stick with it here, around a $5 mark. From Teofilo Star, out to the right distance straight away. And again, a race of just no pace. It gets sole lead here. It's going to jiggy jog up front, and it will be in the finish, but may well be strong enough. Just sticking with the one with the turn of foot. Hopefully can come over the top of it. I'm going to finish the day with a benchmark 64 over the 1,200 metres, where I am sticking with the Sydney form coming down here. Perpignan, a couple of nice trials where it's shown pace. I think that Goulburn, Newcastle sort of Sydney provincialish form stacks up quite well in this. I think it's going to be very hard to beat as well. It is on top for me. From Mount Nazeko, nice resumption. Not everything went right the next time. Mickey Dion, main danger. Look, I don't think it's a bad betting card. It's just not really my comfort zone, I suppose you'd say. So I think we can link together a couple of favourites and get a result out of it. First of which being race 4, number 1, Deal Obtained as my best. And my next best in the last race, 8, number 10, Perpignan. Struggled to really have anything of value. I wanted to stamp there. In Beaver's absence, just got one from up in Queensland, Eagle Farm, race 9, number 9. Huss on first. It should run well. Talented horse resuming here. And one for later in the afternoon at Belmont. Race 1, number 1, Megami for Willie Pike. Should be winning the first there. That has been a look at some midweek racing for progroupracing.com.au. Tune back in Friday morning into the afternoon there when we look at CF4 Stakes Day, the Inglis Millennium, the NRL's back, Test cricket's on, UFC on Sunday. It's all happening. Excited. We'll talk about that then. Take care, guys. Talk soon.